you'll get a couple of those guys per class, a handful of them, and so it's good to see him, and then to see Dylan make a couple plays there. Last 2 years ago, Cam Courtney was that way. So every year you'll have a couple that just the stage is not too big, and that's no knock on any of the other freshmen. It's everybody develops and matures at a different rate, but to see a guy go out there and not be phased, but then also too a great opportunity to teach in a third down situation. It was a critical third down situation where he misread the signal. So still opportunities to grow, but man, I'm excited about him, and then see Corey Costa make a couple plays. Yeah, so we saw him move in the pocket, extended some plays with his legs. He also sat in there on 3rd and long and ripped one up the seam. So it's good for everybody else to get a chance to see what we're seeing every single day. But I thought the blue team got off to a faster start, and it was a little bit slow for the white team, and that wasn't anything that Chandler was doing. We got a turnover and some penalties there. But I thought they responded, settled in, and we got to see both teams move the ball up and down in the first half. I would love to have seen about 10 more points on each side in the first half. Finish some drives in the red zone with touchdowns and field goals. But positive, we saw some explosive plays. But the reason why we're doing this, and I chose for our program to have a spring game, is because I need guys to see the impact of a penalty. You see him in a game situation, right? So in practice, it's controlled. So you blow the whistle quick sometimes, or it's a third period. You don't know if he's going to break the tackle or not. But to see him, but what I got to see is in the game just how decisive his decision making is. He saw some things that in practice we probably would have been coaching a little bit more, just because that's what we do and the mechanics of everything. But what you saw is just a natural ability. He was bouncing plays, finding the edge. So it was good to see him in unrestrained. So most times in practice, backs are controlled, kind of like the quarterbacks. But to see him with no restraints was really good. Yeah. So the great thing is I have a chance to really go watch it and study it. You see some flash plays and. But when you watch it and study it, you get a better understanding of why and how it happened. But man, just the addition of Hunter Osborne, man, the addition of Goldie, like you saw Goldie being really, really disruptive. Maddox has been Pavard, so all the guys that we've added that have been able to make it through practice have been great additions. And so I'm excited about all those guys, and we'll continue. There's still room to go because we only put in a portion of what we do schematically in all 3 phases. And when we enter fall camp with those 25 practices, you're going to put in your whole system. So we gotta take what we've done, and those guys gotta master it because we're going to add more. And for those guys, it's going to be new. I think everybody got to see how well Danny moves, right? So Danny extended some plays with his legs, made big throws. So man, I'm excited as we continue to progress through this competition. Man, I really, really like having both of them. Like they're a little bit different, but what you also saw is that within the system, they can do everything that we need them to do and more. So super excited. I thought both of them, like Danny, right out the gate was moving the ball. His side of the ball was moving it, making some throws. Then things kind of hit a little bit of a lull, and then Chandler came on. But you saw both of them are really good outside the pocket. You saw they got the potential in the pocket. So, man, I'm excited about both.
I was hoping for 0-0. I was. I did. I wanted it to be 0-0 at the end. That's my goal every week. But no, I think that you get separated on teams, and then just you try to, you can get competitive, but at heart, I want to see the defense be successful every week. And I know that it's going to go both ways. We got to play great complementary football, and that's our job on both sides, offense and defense, as far as making each other better. But if we'll be good in all 3 components, that's how you win football games. And there's a little probably advantage for a defense in a spring game. They've seen the same plays for 15 straight practices, but happy with what our guys were able to accomplish, and I was excited to see them compete today. It's super valuable for new guys to work with each other to make sure that they can communicate, and then also being comfortable, because that's the reality. Is that there's gonna be times throughout a year where new guys have to work together, and the ability to see, okay, hey, maybe some components work really, really well together, and you're always surprised when you turn that film on after a spring game. Like, hey, shoot, maybe we put those 2 guys together and work a pass rush game, or those linebackers worked well together, and it was exciting to see guys communicate, make some plays, and then obviously there's, like we're going to see in any practice, there's a bunch of learning lessons. Great thing is Really excited with the ability to be back in Scott Stadium. And I tell you what, you get to go on that grass. You just look at, as far as the ability, you think all the great players that played here, the development that goes on to getting those players to that point. And that's the purpose of spring ball, is to develop your players, to build a mentality as far as physicality, the ability to understand situational football, and finally, as far as you bringing your team together. And you can only bring that team together by, frankly, playing football. And so compliment to Coach Elliott as far as, committing to us to play a game, because that's how you get better at football, is playing a football game. Yeah, I thought they competed well. I thought, we kept the ball in front of us, which that's the goal, is making sure they don't throw it over top of our heads. I thought the guys did a good job at tackling. And the great thing is I thought a lot of guys learned multiple spots, which will pay tons of dividends down the road. Yeah, and I think it's always you're looking at the whole piece, not just one necessarily game, but I think throughout spring, and also today, you see guys that have the ability to win one-on-ones, guys that take a ton of pride in the way that they tackle, and frankly, what they do is they have playmaking and ability to be really productive. And so we want to put our guys in a position to go execute, but ultimately that's why you bust your tail and recruit and you bring in great players, is so that they can ultimately on Saturdays go be productive. And that's what we continually stress, is we want to see productive football players emerge that can execute at a high level. And those are three guys that did a bunch of that throughout the spring. Made great strides, blessed with great athletic talent. We asked him today to play multiple spots. He played some high safety that he didn't work at all, but because of depth, he had to jump into that role today. And it's a compliment to him, it's a compliment to the coaches that he could go operate it and function at a high level. And I'm excited to see him as well, develop his body here in the next few months as we get ready for the next campaign.
First of all, Josiah is a kid that, come from a football pedigree, type deal. At Woodward Academy down there in Georgia, and the kid loves football. Extremely smart, tough, physical, and I don't, cautiously saying this, but he has some attributes of Malik Washington, right? Now, Malik was a fourth-year senior when we had him, right? This kid's a freshman, but there's some attributes from the standpoint of catching the football, right, the run after catch, those type of things, and he still has a lot of growth to do. So I'm not going to put the cart before the horse here, but we're obviously excited about him, and we were excited about him when we were able to get him back here in the fall. I think it's pretty close. I mean, both of those guys have digested the information, offensively throughout the spring, and competed, and we tried to distribute them with the first team equally throughout the spring, and both have moved the offense down the field in competitive periods and scored, which is a great luxury to have, and then we just continue throughout the summer into fall camp. It is. He's actually done well in all aspects throughout the spring, whether it's from the pocket, right? But I thought he's really excelled kind of out on the perimeter, moving the pocket, having good vision down the field, and being able to make throws, accurate throws down the field. It was fun to see that, because that's just another piece when we're talking about being able to pass the football, right? If the tight end position can contribute, in the same manner that Tyler Neville did last year to an extent, but even hopefully we can be better, with John Rogers. John Rogers got a little bit of speed and ability, and Dak's growing, right, as a tight end, so we can get equal, or if not better production out of them. It's going to benefit us offensively. Yep, Jamar got better with each practice. He got better with each practice. He's built, you wouldn't think he's big, right? Because he's, I don't know, maybe 5'8", 5'9", but he has good shoulder structure, right? Good hips and quads, right? And you start to see that in the spring where he was running through contact, right? Getting that yak. And he's in the spring, he had an explosive run that showed us, okay, he had some speed, right, to run. And then to see him out there today, it was just another step he took, right? Because each day he's gotten better and better and better as he got more comfortable. He's fit in really well with the team, and obviously we want to be able to run the football around here, and with the O-line kind of coming along and having him and Zay, right, gives us a good 1-2 punch there.